Looks like it. I don't seem to have a gavel. That doesn't matter. Okay. I'll call the meeting to order at 7:02 p.m. January 16th, 2004, just the regular meeting for the North Whidbey Parks and Recreation District. Sean phoned me about 2 hours ago. He's sick, and so he asked if I would chair the meeting for him. So I'm here. Everybody else is here. First item of the agenda, any changes to the agenda? Commissioners? Anything? No. Steve, did you want to do a report, which isn't on here, which up here work with the staff?
Sure.
We can do that under staff reports, maybe.
Okay, you want to do it now?
No.
Okay, staff reports? All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll put it just before staff reports.
That's fine, thank you.
Anything else? Nothing from me. Okay, public comments. Anybody have any comments? Is there a sign-up sheet back there or not? We could let you comment without a sign-up sheet if you wanted. Okay. Minutes for approval. Now we have 3 meetings. November 25th, you were just trying to get copies of for you.
Yes, and I think Eric was looking.
It did not print through, the attachment didn't come through, so we have to reset our...
Well, why don't we defer the minutes for November 25th to the next meeting? And is there a motion to approve the minutes of December 19th, the regular meeting, which you just received a little while ago, so take some time to read them. They're in the package with the agenda.
Oh. Is this discussion, or do we need to make a motion to amend?
Well, I just got them, so I need to read it before I
Yeah.
I
I would, underneath the motion on the third page, second bullet point on the third page,
Yes.
a second motion by C. Waltz at the salary for the aquatic director, $34,000. It says that C. Hoffmeyer opposed, which would then mean that the motion did not pass unanimously.
Oh, thank you. Where exactly are you?
Right there.
Up here.
So just motion passed by majority is what I'll correct that to be.
And then we didn't just say who opposed, as well as who...
Yeah, you've got that.
I think that's
Just motion passed is enough just to read unanimously.
Thank you.
Anything else?
the catch, Dave. I don't have the benefit of a director to give me pre-notes from the sound recording anymore, so it's pretty much just me putting these together. Not that that's an excuse, but...
Do we not have a sound recording for you?
No, we do have,
Okay.
yeah, oh, definitely, yes, I use that.
So that would be bad.
Oh, that'd be terrible. Well, wouldn't be much there, put it that way.
There were those that said that when he gave it to me that it was always incorrect. So I don't know if that was a plus or not.
On the bottom of the page that we just took out the unanimously, there's a motion. I don't seem to remember it that way, but it may well be. It's, Steve, you moved that to increase current salary hourly rates by 20% for Nicole, Erica, and Aaron.
Which page are you on?
This page right here.
It's,
And it's right down at the bottom. I thought there were dollar amounts on those rather than percentages. Was it percentages? I'm happy, I don't remember. Okay,
I think that was correct.
that's sort of the way you remember it?
Well, there was a dollar amount, it was a combined, a concern did come up
Yeah.
with Erica Miller's, because a salary was voted in, and someone was brought up concern that the salary would be increased by 20%, and that wasn't the intent. It was to just increase it by the hourly rate, like anyone else.
I never mentioned a dollar amount though. So that $308 a month, that should not be in there.
Well,
That was not part of my motion.
his was left, I think, at 10%, or $308 a month.
Well, I never said $308, so the motion never had a dollar amount on it.
Well, let's see.
I would have had no idea to know that it was $308. There's no possible way that I would have known that, which makes me wonder how in the world anybody found that out. I mean,
Well,
who knows and who looked at that? I mean, that's kind of odd to me, actually, if you know the truth. How in the world did the $308 even get there?
It was in the paperwork that Bill Walker gave us that had the breakdown of what the amounts were for an increase.
So my motion never said anything about a dollar amount.
I don't know, that's what I got from it. So,
You can listen back to the recording, it's not there.
okay. I guess we need to check it.
The two people most directly involved are in the room and would know. Matt, does that 308 roughly equivalent to that 20%? Like, are we talking about the same number 2 times around?
Vice Chair, it really has nothing to do with this at this point to put him on the spot like that. Well, the fact of the matter is, it wasn't in the motion. We need to change it. To put him on the spot like this, I'm not going to stand for that.
Oh, you just wait a minute.
No, not at all.
Well, I don't think we're trying to put anybody on the spot.
It is putting him on the spot in front of everybody, asking him a dollar amount that he
No.
Well, I'm just saying right now, I'm not going to stand for it.
I'll sit for it.
Or sit for it. The fact of the matter is, I never mentioned a dollar amount. Take it out.
So what for him, do you recall what you did say?
You'd have to look back. I think it was 10%. It was 10%.
So we'll just change that to 10% increase. Would that work for you?
Yes.
Okay. And I'll double check it on the tape just to see what was said exactly. But I don't think either. I think it equated 10% or $308 a month is what it showed.
Hey, did you notice anything else in this?
Under new business, same page, second bullet point.
Mm-hmm.
It's not specified whether or not that motion was passed, failed, or otherwise tabled. And I don't
Motion to approve, seconded. I'm sure it passed. I just didn't write it in there. But I'll double check it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. With these comments, could I get a motion to defer approval until the next meeting? Well, those are the 3 comments, and we'll know what we're approving properly.
I would actually like to, make a motion to just defer approving these meeting minutes since no one has had the chance really to review them thoroughly. And
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so the motion to defer the 3 sets of minutes until our next meeting. And if anyone has any comments, I'll have a chance to go over them for that meeting. Okay, voucher review. Now, these were sent by email, so you should have had those. And do I have a motion to approve the vouchers and the salaries as distributed?
See if I have them.
Okay, they're
They're in the package?
They're in the
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay.
The minutes, or I'm sorry, not the minutes,
The
but
voucher 6097 to 6120.
6097-6120 for $21,520.33, and payroll
Of 39.
transfer to the M&O account of $39,603.43.
Right. Seconded?
That's,
Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
This might seem like a small item and maybe I'm being nitpicky, but we use Visa cards, credit cards issued by Whidbey Island Bank that have some sort of reward program with them. I was wondering, what happens to those reward points? Who utilizes those? And how could they best benefit the district?
That's a good question.
you have an idea.
So maybe-
Shall we note the question and try and get an answer for
No
the next
question.
meeting?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's get an answer to that one.
Any other questions, comments?
I had one on, let's see, vehicle fuel use. That seems, is that a monthly charge or is that every couple of months? Does anyone have an idea out there? I guess Nicole's not here. She's the one that pays the bills, but it's looks like $247 for a month of vehicle fuel, and it just seems a little exorbitant to me, but I'm not sure what we're using the vehicle for.
That should be a month.
That's a month?
Yes.
Okay. Is it, so that's approximately, I don't know, calculated $3 a gallon.
It's a little more than $3 a gallon.
Yeah.
personally.
Right.
Right now, the Cinex, the gallon price, I'm pretty sure is closer to $4 a gallon.
Mhm.
62 miles.
So who's the primary driver of the vehicle? Have you, Matt? So, I mean, are you just using it for around here or?
Yes. We have, we cover the dog park, we cover the ball fields, I go out there, back every day.
Okay.
Pick up trash, things like that.
If driving a vehicle around town on a daily basis for my job, it's not hard to get 62 miles. I don't think I think that is, if that's the way it rounds out, I think that is actually probably very reasonable.
Okay, so is there do you do a mileage log? When you fill up at Cinex, is there a mileage log that's kept?
Yes, I run it on all the receipts.
Okay.
Any other questions? We get a motion? We have a motion.
How about travel reimbursement for Coach Patterson? Was that, I was looking at that earlier. I think it's mileage there. It says $215. Was that for, exactly what was that reimbursement for?
From Stoney.
Was that just, so going down and back's what, 200 miles? So we're getting 56 cents a mile. It looks like a couple trips down, so is that just for the PNS champs, or is there more than that?
I don't recall offhand, don't have the numbers in front of me, but it used to be us.
Okay. Not for a Husky invite?
$0.
Good.
Okay,
That's it?
we have a motion to approve voucher 6097 to 6120 for $21,520 and for payroll transfer of $39,603.43. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, passed unanimously. Okay, Steve, do you want to talk about your...
I've had the wonderful opportunity over the past 2 weeks to sit down with the senior staff. It's been a lot of fun. At the same time, I'd say it's been very impressed with, I think, really how upbeat and positive you all are, and I just want to commend you on that. Because, I've been in work situations and, just other situations where things seem to be, maybe they didn't go quite the way you wanted them. It's real easy to go down that road of becoming negative, and negativity feeds on negativity. Before you know it, it's poison, and then it destroys. It's just very destructive. And you all have kept the right attitude, and that is that it's about this community. It's about keeping this place going. You all have I think not only just you don't see it as just your job here. You see it as, I think, bigger than that. You have bought into this community, and you see how important it is to our kids, to the families, to the elderly people who come in here for whatever the program it is. And I look forward to the next few weeks until the director comes in. I value your opinion, and I know these guys do too. And I think that if we as a board can recognize the fact that, without you right now, and without your professionalism, I think, and without your positive attitude, this place would just be a mess, man. And I am so thankful that you guys are here. And that's what I've got out of this last 2 weeks. I think that we as a community are lucky to have you. I think we as a board are lucky to have you, because it could be the other way. And I just encourage you to keep that positive attitude. Don't forget what it's really all about. It's about this community, each and every one of you. And I know that you were all fond of Bill Walker, and I know that you all believe he was a good supervisor. And we talked about this the other day, that I would just encourage you one more time on this. The next person may be just as good. Won't be the same person, but he'll bring something else to your life. And I would just encourage you to keep that in mind as we go forward. And just whoever it is that he or she that comes in here, that you bring that positive attitude to work every day. It's infectious. It really, really, truly is. When you walk through this door and you see the smiles on people's faces. It wasn't so long ago. It wasn't like that here. And it was a common thing you would hear from people in the community is how negative people were here. Nobody smiled. So please, just keep doing what you're doing. And I want to help be that person who gives you that from us to you all. But thank you very much for letting me come to your staff meetings and just for opening up to me. And if you guys have any questions, I would love to answer them, or I'm sure they would as well. So.
No issues for us to worry about.
I don't think there are any issues at this point in time. I really don't. I think the one thing that you all have, that the board, we as a board, have done is they do appreciate is allowing them to be part of the process going forward. And I know that's a big concern to them. And I think that we recognize that they have talents and expertise, and we want them to be involved. And we showed them that last week by the subcommittee with Alan, myself, yourself and I, and them. I know they truly appreciate that. So that's it.
Thank you. I have 4 more copies of the reports. This is important because Nicole can't be here tonight. And these have the reports, staff reports in them. So any of you that haven't got copies, please come and take one of them if you'd like one. Have you all got them? Everybody? Joy, have you got one? Do you want one?
Sure.
help know what's happening. Okay. Staff reports. The head coach report is the first one in the package, although it's not the first on the agenda. But are there any questions on the head coach report?
Sorry.
We haven't approved your business plan yet, have we? You submitted it months ago, but you never got an action. We never discussed it.
I don't know if it was actually under a motion to be approved.
That's right.
Certainly,
You submitted.
any kind of input.
Yeah. We might revisit that at another month, like next month or something, or other things cool down on the director's search. The second is the Kids Rock Fitness Club report. If there are no comments on the head coach report. Yes.
Alan, if I could just add two other
Certainly.
items to the coach report. On March 12th, Will Crum from USA Swimming is a sport development consultant. It's going to be a proper meeting with our team, with our leadership and so forth like that. And it's going to be a real nice opportunity to meet with representatives from USA Swimming to kind of see how we're progressing along in the first phase of the recognition program that I had referenced at the end of my report. So I think that's a really nice opportunity. The second thing, and I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but there is a letter that's attached into the package. It is a late edition. A letter from U.S. Masters Swimming. Executive Director Rob Butcher. And the short version of that is really encapsulated along the top two bullet points. It looks like this. The cover sheet is the USA Masters logo on the top. I believe they call it certainly the most recent electronic version. Anyhow, it asks, or it makes two indications, changes with U.S. Masters Swimming. First of all, that all participants in USMS activity, which includes pool, open water clinics, practices, etc., must be USMS registered members, guest member, or one event participant. And number two, adult swimming programs promoting a USMS or master swimming relationship must register as USMS club or workout group. Now we're identifying as a USMS workout group. We have 23 members at this point. Some members are members of USMS, some chose not to, okay? What's at stake here is insurance, and there was a occurrence in Portland with my colleague Dennis Baker, who runs the club down there in Oregon Masters Swimming, where an individual went to a Masters workout, left the facility, was in the parking lot, and passed away from a heart attack. And so that sort of led to a prompting with Mr. Baker and Mr. Butcher about perhaps U.S. Masters Swimming ought to be offering some kind of clarity with regard to liability insurance and coverage in a situation like that. So I have a scan of this sent to our Susan Brandt, our representative at Honduras, to get their feedback, Honduras' feedback with respect to this letter and how we should maybe respond. And I think I've copied at least two of the directors, two of the commissioners, how we as a district ought to be responding to this requirement or perceived requirement from U.S. Masters Swimming. It may lead us to requiring all of our Masters Swimmers to be registered class M's. The short story when there's an incident is that the line of defense is first of all an individual's personal insurance. Secondly, in the case of whether there's either a district or a school district, the district would be the second line of defense, and then the third line of defense would be U.S. Masters Swimming. So point that out as something that maybe need to be, will be a process in the next few days and weeks and so forth. As soon as I hear back from Honduras, I'll let you all know, and we can perhaps discuss it, take it up, give a better number.
The Masters Swimming PNS, the regional one, changed their club configuration. And this may be part of that process where we used to have clubs like here, but that we are now all subsumed underneath Puget Sound Masters or one other. And I don't know, I'd be interested to know if that's part of the same process.
That's a good question. Okay.
So you're going to get back to us on this one as well?
As soon as I hear back from this part.
Thank you.
Dave, Susan?
Coach, can you give us an update as to the USAS Club Recognition Program, Level 1? Looks like we are actively pursuing being accredited.
You bet, gladly. There are 4 levels of USA Swimming Club Recognition. One, obviously, being the first one. While I don't have the criteria memorized, it addresses 4 distinct categories. And to paraphrase, you've got a water side, you've got a non-water side, you have a volunteer side, and 4 sides escaping me. But essentially what it does is it USA Swimming sets a certain number of benchmarks for clubs to reach and develop themselves, both administratively, when it comes to officials, when it comes to volunteers, when it comes to success in the water and planning accordingly. And so it's a really easy roadmap for establishing some lines of success throughout your organization. So I think towards the end of my report, what I did was highlighted areas that were new from the last time, last report. And you'll see this ongoing. I'll sort of gray out the old information and highlight the new information. We're on the club portal. We've gone through and done a virtual championships analysis. We have all kinds of water and coaching side of things that we're addressing. Volunteering, a variety of things. I won't belabor the points I've already described in my report. But that's something that really is, I think, a good benchmark for us to find our success.
Thank you. Thank you. And lastly, I think that this is definitely worth discussing. There's delineated in here that we feel that a portion of the travel budget should be reallocated to a new line item that's not in our current budget, which is something that we definitely have to look at on our end as far as taking action. How would that work, and how much are you talking about?
Thank you for noticing that, Commissioner. And very simply, it is one of the steps in the club recognition program to have a coaches training and education piece. You get points for having that. On the very least, number one, I would like to encourage ASCA certification membership for our coaches, and in doing so, encourage them to continually educate themselves through the various different resources and work their way through levels 1 through 4. I am not registered to ASCA. I'd like to, but there's no resources at this point for us to do that in the budget line. There were made last year, but certainly not now. So what I'm suggesting is a modest amount in the neighborhood of, a few hundreds to at least begin that process of ASCA registration and process of certification. $70 is what it costs to join ASCA.
Could you do that for next month? Get us a document with that type of thing in it? Anything else? Rick? Questions? Steve? Questions? Okay. Kids Rock Fitness Club report. Any questions on that? Seems to have suspended activities till March 31st. Aerobics? Aquatics programs report?
Eric was explaining to me this, this exciting news. She explained this the other day, and I have to admit, I think that's really exciting.
This morning I got, no, yesterday, I got confirmation from both Bellingham and Anacortes that they are bringing several of their staff down for the clinic, so we're really happy about that.
That was very cool.
Yeah. It's going to be fun.
Okay, now, when is this person coming up on the swimming, the swimming clinic? Bill Crum, is it?
Bill Crum will be March 12th.
March 12th, so we haven't got any overlap.
Nope.
Super.
We double check those.
Okay, facilities and maintenance. Any questions?
Is everything working okay for you? No more major.
Nothing major wrong. Of course, I'm saying that now.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't
You know, I
mention.
in class, but no, it's, it looks like everything is running like it's supposed to.
Yeah, I did notice something, not with facilities or anything, but there's during the day, I think on the schedule, there's a period in the afternoon from, I don't know, it's approximately 12:30 to 2, thereabouts. It has special programs, 1:30 to 2:30. When, are those always in place, or is it just if there is potentially, I mean, and the reason I asked is I had a swimmer who wanted to do some lap swim, and they couldn't because special programs were in place, but there was no one in the pool. So at the same time, so they couldn't swim, but yet there was no special program. And yet I'm assuming the lifeguards were here. And
Usually, if we don't have anything scheduled for the 1:30 to 2:30 time slot, we send our staff home just for
Oh, you
budgetary
do?
reasons. The other thing is, once January hits, we have schools, we have Oak Harbor Elementary School and also Oak Harbor Middle School that take those time slots to bring their third grade classes over for lessons. It's been ongoing for many, many years, and we've just this week started, last week started with Oak Harbor Elementary School. They're going all the way through until spring break, and then after spring break, we start with Oak Harbor Christian School. They're all on the calendars all the way up through till May.
well, that's great. I guess I just thought, if the lifeguards were here, then I couldn't see.
We try and send them home if we don't have
Yeah.
anything going on, just because we
Yeah.
save on the money.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
I have a couple questions. We held a very successful, from a lot of benchmarks, swim meet right before Halloween. We had good participation, good revenue, a lot of good swims. I guess the question is, was the pool open or closed after the last event to the public for open swim?
It was closed.
It was closed. Is there a way that we can open that back up and collect additional revenue and service the public so that we're not closed all day long?
If we can accurately, to the minute, just about estimate when our swim meets will be over. Because if I say that I'm going to open the pool at 7:30 and we're running 15 minutes behind on a swimming schedule, I've got a pile of people out here in the front lobby that are irritated because they can't get in when they're told they can get in. So that's where a lot of the time we have left that part of the pool closed, just because you never know. And I mean, I do stroke and turn officiating, and I look at the timeline, and I stroke and turn officiated at the last meeting here in Anacortes. We were behind all day long. There would have been no way, unless they could keep that meet right where it needs to be, to anticipate that.
The other variable would be staff and volunteer availability for cleanup. Take half hour, it take 2 hours.
Could get nasty.
And it's all the pictures too.
Yeah, we're taking touchpads out. We're taking, moving lane lines. We're cleaning up nasty stuff off the deck.
So it depends on the length of the meet, for the most part.
It's a big meet. The deck is disgusting.
You had another question?
I do, and you might not want me bringing this up, but
You're commissioner. Don't miss your chance.
we, well, before the election, the topic of discussion was raising the pool temperature 1 degree, and that was deferred for a 3-month period of time. When does that come back up for discussion?
I hope it's not until next month because we haven't got any documents here.
It's pretty much now.
Yeah, it's pretty much now, but
And the reason I bring that up is I've been approached by several patrons, swimmers in the morning, lap swim, aerobics participants, and swim school parents in regards to the pool temperature again. I have there is a patron who voluntarily offered to do her own measurement of the pool, and she has very specialized equipment because of her job. And she took a temperature reading on January 3rd at 6:05 from a depth of what she's guessing would be 4 feet at 80.8. So I'm not going to ask anybody to try and verify what the pool temperature reading on our thermometers was on that. But there's definitely some area there that probably needs to be further looked at.
there have been up to 5 thermometers in that pool at the same time at different temperatures. We've measured the very deepest part of the pool, and we've measured the bottom of the shallow end, and we've done it 1 foot underneath, and we've done it on the surface. And the dispute over what the numbers mean is really quite mind-boggling.
Yeah.
So yes, and we do have to bring a lot of data here, but we haven't got it here right now. And 82, it seems to be where it is, except when the whole pool system oscillates. And it's been down to, what, 75 one day? And that weeded, 74, that weeded a lot of people out.
That's after the heater was messed up.
Yeah. And it's been up to 84, I think, or 86 one day. And that
Yeah,
was,
that's after it was going because there's so much water. It overshot and then it had to draw back, so it fluctuated a little bit. Of
so
course, it takes a couple days to do that.
it's a whole culture in there. And yes, next month, I think we should put it on the agenda, if that's all right. And we'll try and bring the data that we have and tell the people that are really concerned about it so they can be here if they want to. Is that acceptable to everybody? I hope it's acceptable to Sean.
We can add that to the agenda for next month.
Yeah, to the February agenda. Anything else on staff reports? Okay. Unfinished business. Amendment to the bylaws. The notice was given of proposed amendment to the bylaws for Section 4.2. You got it then, and I gave you another one tonight. It should be Section 4.2b, and that a new Section 4.2b be added, and that the present Section 4.2b be amended and renumbered 4.2ba, and then the changes are the next 2 little pieces of material. Yes.
Can I bring one thing up? I was looking at RCW 36.69.120. And in it, it actually already gives us that authority.
Yeah, but this just tidies up that bylaw so we don't get into an argument about it at some point in the future. Everything's compatible. It's a very little change.
I tell you, it's the only problem I have with that is if we as a board begin to say we're going with some new board to where a board decides to just micromanage the employees. I mean, we hire a director to do that already. You know, we're not here on a daily basis. There may be some directors that only come in here once a month for the board meeting. How in the world are they going to know what these employees are doing If it's something they've done that's gross negligence, or they've done something that's illegal, we already have in the RCW the right to dismiss them. I don't know what adding something to the bylaws is going to do, except it's going to set a precedent for us to micromanage this district and each and every one of these employees.
It's already in the bylaws. What we
The
have.
bylaws, we actually have a director, that's his responsibility.
That's right, that's what we lived through for the last couple of years.
That's not our responsibility, is it?
Yes.
Really?
I
It's
think it's
our, it's
ours.
our responsibility to micromanage this district
It's
and
not
to
mine.
watch each and every single one of these employees.
I don't agree that we're micromanaging anybody.
Okay, I think first thing is, will anyone move this motion? Or,
I definitely will move the motion to amend the bylaws to amend section 4.2A,
yes,
or I'm sorry, it's 4.2B, to recommend the appointment and dismissal of full-time contracted district employees to the commission for action, for its action. And 4.2B to appoint and remove hourly employees as the law, policies of the district, and circumstances may dictate. Is that it?
yeah, the director would just keep control over everybody with the full-time contracted employees. This order.
So section 4.2 is, okay, so the director will continue to appoint and remove hourly employees,
That's right.
but contracted employees will be where he'll bring it before the board.
That's
Is
right.
that correct? Okay.
All right, discussion. Here we go.
Your turn.
Here it is in a
Anybody?
nutshell. You want these guys to be positive, right? You want things to continue. All you're really doing now, the timing is amazing to me. It really is. I've watched this board over the past 16 months, specifically over the past 5 months, go after one guy. One guy. People came in with, Kurt, going back to you, I hate to do it, my friend, but when you said that you were biased, nothing has stopped. It really hasn't. You went after one guy, and you went, no, I'm not done.
But you're attacking
You
the
went
person
after,
personally.
fine, you went after, well, you know what, let's say it like it is. This is why I don't think it should be done. These 4 people, and there's 5 on the senior staff, how do you think they're going to feel when they leave here? We went after a director. Finally, we wanted him fired. Finally, he resigned. And now we put the crosshairs on them. And that's all we're doing with this. This isn't needed. The timing is amazing to me, man. How do you think they're going to feel when they leave here? I'll tell you how they're going to feel. And if you ask each and every one of them, I'll tell you what they're going to tell you. It's them next. You see, because that's what they feel. I've watched you guys attack this coach over the past year. Seen it, heard it, I've listened to it. And now he feels the crosshairs are on him. Or how about the things that have been said to Erica Miller? You want to talk to her about that? I'm telling you, this isn't needed, and all you're going to do now, you're going to just drive a wedge in between these guys and us, and all that's going to happen now is you've created this negative paranoia because now they're going to feel the crosshairs on them. It's not needed. It's not needed at all.
Well, can I ask you, Steve, how much did we pay in legal fees for the decision the director made on his own that apparently went to an executive? Yeah, how much? Do you know?
Do we want to go down the road about the lawsuit? Is that what
How
you
much
want?
have we paid in legal fees from
You know
that
how
lawsuit?
much. You want me to give you a dollar?
Well,
for that?
around $50,000 to $100,000.
We'll back.
Yeah.
We'll back.
So what? How's that affect our budget?
This,
How does that affect taxpayers in the district?
It's a frivolous lawsuit.
Steve, stop. Kurt, it's before the courts. I don't know where we're going to get into this swamp. Let's leave it there. This is a motion. You've moved it. You've seconded it. Steve doesn't like it. Are there any more comments?
Looking at this, section 4.2A, to recommend the appointment and dismissal of full-time contracted district employees to the commission for its action. We already have to approve the contract.
We don't have the authority to approve it. We made it with Bill's contract. We had to pass a special resolution. and there was a great fuss about whether we had the right to do it or not.
Okay, that was, then I don't know much about that. I'll have to do some research on that. I look at this as providing a secondary protection to those contracted employees. I mean, I'm looking at it slightly different. I don't, from this standpoint, I don't think that this is a threat to them.
And that's, I would agree with that. I mean, I just think things moved really fast. Cooler heads would have prevailed, but for some reason, things got heated and rash decisions were made that have really caused a lot of suffering. I mean, that's my opinion. So,
Do you want to have another shot, Steve? Because it sounds like you're going to have to do some convincing.
Well, I should have to convince them. The fact is, I think the truth speaks for itself. All you have to do is look at the past 2 months and take them into account. But you don't think it's a threat to them. What do you think they think? Would you like to ask them? Would they change their
You
mind?
just got after us for trying to put people on the spot for
Well, we could go into an executive session and ask them if they want to go with us. Because I'll tell you right now, seriously, what is the hurry? Why don't we give this a month? Think about it. Let Sean be involved in this discussion.
I've had it for a month. I've thought about it. I just don't understand what the harm is. Any contracted, that includes salaried employees.
What do we hire a director
Okay.
for?
Let me put the question. Okay, and we'll have a, what do you call it, vote where everybody says their name and says what they're voting. Okay, so you can start.
Start with one voted.
Vote.
Absolutely 100% no.
Okay. Steve, 100% no. Okay.
Absolutely.
I would make the, I don't know if I can make a motion to
Well, motion, to what?
table this.
Sure, we can table it for a month. We'll make the motion.
And that gives the full commission the option to look at this together and decide together with all 5 of us. It also will perhaps an additional cooling down period that might be necessary. And gives us the opportunity to find out from staff whether or not they view this as a threat. Not that that's going to be a determining factor on anybody's mind, because we're trying to do what we think is right here, not what we think the employees want.
Okay, motion to table supersedes the vote. Okay, all in favor of table?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's tabled till next month.
Thank you.
In February. Okay, report on director search. Carolyn, welcome. Did you all get this? I just got this from Sean about an hour ago and copied it off my machines for everybody.
I did not get that one.
You did it.
Yeah, I think you might.
Actually, you give it to me all along.
Okay.
Well, maybe, then yes, I do have it, but I just didn't get a chance to read it.
Well, maybe we're going to have another pause to read. Have you got a copy of it?
What, I don't know, you're looking at.
It's sort of the latest draft on,
So what I
The description.
Tim a couple of
that may be
minutes ago.
what it is.
Okay, it's
You-
probably the one I have.
You can say whether it's changed or not. Now that I've given all my copies away.
have another one here. Okay.
Yeah, he added the last, these two.
Okay, so you know exactly what it is. Hmm? She wrote it.
So we have a copy of the announcement too. Is that something that...
This is what I have. Okay, I have nothing else.
So this will be something that is on the website, which is very good, I think, by the way, from what I can see. I don't see anything obvious that I'm missing.
Well, I would note that at the bottom of the page, the last sentence manages the selection and onboarding process of new employees and in consultation with Board of Commissioners, Chair and/or legal counsel may discharge employees as necessary. That goes directly back to what you take issue with.
I wrote that. So I wrote it as a best practice. I didn't have any knowledge of this other matter.
Yeah, and we appreciate the work. We're just,
No,
I'm just making note.
Being obnoxious, that's what.
The decision,
A little bit,
that decision is so risky for, that typically it has some, there's some threshold that,
Well,
for making
I-
a decision.
I think this is a fantastic job description. I do think that in any leadership role there needs to be checks and balances, and I think that that is what this is aiming for.
One of the big responsibilities always was setting a budget and actually defining a budget at the end of the year and working hard to get that so that there was some coherent picture of what had happened and what the plans were for the next year in a budget document. And I'm just trying to figure out if that's highlighted in here. You've got the reporting function. The director is accountable for budget variances. I can't find it, but I'm just reading it. Did you
I
have
think it was
that
up in the
somewhere?
top, in the overview.
In the overview?
It's highly visible, operates, responsibilities include policy program management, district, community, district's financial practices, and policies, and serving as an advisor. And then in the job requirements, the experience in the areas of budgeting, financial management.
Yeah, I guess it's certainly
I
spelled out
think
the
it's
top there.
Yeah, I think it's within. It's fairly clear that they're going to be responsible for that. Maybe that's a section in the employee manual where we could refine that a little more to be more specific on what we expect at the end of the fiscal year or in October thereabouts, when a draft will be provided. And I can't fault the director. I mean, he put a lot of work into, our former director, he put a lot of work into trying to get a budget approved that he thought was the best way to go. Not everyone agreed with his rationale, but he certainly put a lot of work into it. I definitely give him credit for that. And it was just tough to get to the final numbers because of the revenue versus the expenses. The expenses were just more than we could find. And unfortunately, I mean, that's still the case. We're eventually going to have to address it. But I think it's pretty clear that the director, not only in this job description, but in the interview process, will have that duty and that responsibility emphasized more than once. So, and
Is this acceptable? And Steve, is this something that you're happy with? Dave?
I think it's great.
I don't see anything that's...
Okay. Where do we go from here? Sean's not here tonight. We have a process where we have to put this out on the web and we have to advertise the position as soon as possible. Sean has been sort of coordinating that, I think. Is that a...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, it was a bug. It was not a... It was not a...
Stalking me.
I was looking desperately for input as to where this process is right now. We can take this and we can see if Sean's better as soon as he is too, so that he can get this into some advertising media. And we talked about what the advertising media were, but I don't know if we've agreed to that.
No, I was asked to check into the Whitby Times, so I talked to Sound Publishing, and they would, of course, they wouldn't commit to a price, didn't even want to come close. The best I could get was that it would probably be about $40 for 2 inches of space. So I'm like, well, how many words or how many characters in 2 inches? So they never would commit to that. So I got a paper and you can look through if you want to see what 2 inches really is and how much is in it. But so if it were $40, and then she actually backed off of the $40 by saying, well, I really can't promise you that. So but if it were $40 for 2 inches, that would be $320 for 8 weeks. It would be in the Whitby Times twice. Would be in the Whitby Examiner, the South Whitby Record, and then it would be on their online version as well in that price. The website actually said $19 for 1 inch of column space. So, but then she told me, well, you can't really look at that. So I really can't say anything, so I think it's going to be just $300 to $400 if we put it in the Whitby Times for 4 weeks.
4 weeks.
It's going to be a lot more than 2 inches.
Well, I looked at it, and I don't know what you would have to put all of this in it, man.
No.
Refer to our website, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and if you look here, there was actually some.
Find a 2-inch ad and see if you notice it.
Well, I'm going to. That's why I bought this cake. It's like 50 cents. You know what? Remember when you didn't have to wear glasses? Wasn't that nice? You really don't? It's like, I feel like I'm struggling to see anymore. Okay, where were we at? Hey, we've got the Whitby Times right here. Where's the South Whitby Records? Want to come to help me? This newspaper lady?
Are you looking for...
Oh, there we go, I got it. There we go. All right. So here's one, for example, that's 1 inch, I would say. CNAs, part and full-time, please apply in person, and it gives the business, the address, and the telephone number. And then if you look here, this is probably more like about a 3 inch, I would say. And you can kind of get an idea if you want to look at it. But we could just simply mention the position and refer to the website, couldn't we? Where
But it's not a great market for you,
It's
just
not?
because
Okay.
I'm guessing, I'll be wrong,
Okay.
that there's somebody in our own neighborhood who would find out about the opportunity from the teaser.
Okay.
I mean, I think it would be one of your lower,
Okay.
like, so don't put a lot of your dollars in it. Maybe do that sort of a teaser,
Okay.
position available, title, not a whole lot, maybe the website link where you could have the more
Okay.
detailed job description. Because really your market is going to be your best investment, like the professional organizations, some of those things we talked
Okay.
about in the last meeting.
Like LinkedIn and...
Well, you guys helped me, you were here,
There's
it was
the
like the...
Parks and Rec Association.
And then some people who would be coming from that public agency experience, who would be looking there for a job.
Okay. Okay.
And even just their Google search would pull that. And I don't want to misspeak, but I think you guys can do the advertising and stuff outside of
Okay.
the meeting, right? I mean, that doesn't...
Yeah, we just have to probably set up a subcommittee so
To
that
do it.
you have responsibility to help Sean and whoever else wants to do it on a little committee. I think that would be the smartest way of doing it.
So that's my email. I can
I was asked about work sources, so it's free, by the way.
work
So,
sources free, grade free ones too.
so,
Would you be willing to-
Yeah, I'll work with Sean on that.
You and Sean and Carolyn? Would that be a good committee?
If she's...
Well, by email, but the thing is, you've done 90% of the work anyway, so, it'd be good to have your expertise
I'm
keeping
sure
it.
I can help with that.
Yeah. Okay, so the three of you will do that, and I'll tell Sean that, when he's doing it, that he's doing it. Is that reasonable to everybody?
yeah, that's perfect.
Can we have a motion then to set up a subcommittee of Carolyn, David, and Sean to...
I don't think we need a motion for subcommittees, do we?
Yeah, well, I prefer to
Oh,
have
okay.
one so that we have it on the record. that
Sure.
We've agreed
I
to.
make a motion that we set up a subcommittee with Commissioner Merrill, Commissioner Walton, and Ms. Pape, Mrs. Pape, sorry, to explore advertising and
And the publication of the job.
and the publication of the job description.
Good.
Now, is this job description set in stone at this time? Or is it still an open document that we can...
Yeah,
Okay?
it looks good. The announcement will be a condensed, hard-hitting...
Yes, it's just the basic working document.
Okay.
Okay.
That's my motion.
Second?
I'm sorry.
Steve, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Unanimous. Passes. Okay. Now, election of officers for 2014. That's where we have to sort ourselves out for the year. Do you want to wait for Sean to come back, or
I
how do you
would
want
be
to do it?
grateful, personally.
You prefer that?
Okay, would you move that?
Move to defer appointment and
The election of officers.
the election of officers until the February meeting, regular meeting.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Done. Okay, now we have a question of a problem with a locker. And does anybody here want to talk to it? I've got a letter from one of our long-standing members who had a locker, and the lock was taken off and the contents removed, and nobody could find them. Now, Erica, my understanding is that you found the record to the fact that she'd rented the locker, but it was emptied, and that falls on us as to what happened, essentially. And we have a bill for $333.06 for the contents, and for a locker rental fee for $60 because the lock was cut off. And that's the issue, and I don't know if anybody has anything to add. Have you guys seen this?
I have not. No,
Because
I've
circulated-
heard.
It's-
I saw
I've
something.
circulated this letter to,
I saw it mentioned somewhere that there was in the agenda, I think, about the locker.
let's do another reading for 5 minutes. Joy?
I did send a letter to every commissioner individually here to the pool.
You sent one to me.
Oh, here.
To every
I have the letter.
Okay, so you've got it.
Love to.
I'm sorry, I didn't get it here.
I was,
Did you send that by mail?
by mail.
and it would have been probably a week or two ago.
Probably a couple of weeks
January
ago.
1st.
Start of the new year was it? The only question I had was everything that seems we're wrong as the district on this, as far as I'm concerned. The only question was the $60 locker fee, and because of our tight budget, whether we could maybe give you a locker for a year and not the $60 for last year and cover the rest of it or not. That was sort of the area that I was at least sort of wondering what we could do. But, your claim is perfectly reasonable. So.
I'm a little hesitant to want the locker again. Originally, I've been coming for 17 years, and I had something stolen that I didn't put in a locker, so I thought, well, that's dumb. Let's put things in the locker from now on. So, the idea of a free locker is not terribly appealing, I'm sorry to say.
Okay, that was a question.
So the lock got cut?
No, it's the locker. The locking mechanism was removed from it.
Was it a repair or something?
No,
Or
the whole thing was removed. We don't know how it got removed. Kids.
was it combination type?
No, it has
Oh,
it's a double key. And the top one is the master, and then of course the bottom is the one you rent out to people, so they can use to open the door and close it.
Okay, I see.
The whole mechanism was popped out.
Wow.
So we don't know if we did it. Is that what you're saying?
I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah, it sounds like a vandal.
But I know I've caught kids, we've caught kids.
What have we done in the past? There's been things vandalized in there. I remember one time there was a kid whose cell phone got threw in the toilet. What did the board do in those cases? I mean,
We didn't have to bring it here because the director handled the issues. We don't have the director right now, so we've got to deal
I
with it.
understand, but I actually think in those cases, and I'm not just diminishing this or dismissing it. I'm just saying that in the past, when kids have had stuff vandalized, and white kids, for example, I think that there was something in there that said, hey, we're not responsible for lost or stolen items. The only reason I'm heading down that road is if we do this, then how are we going to handle things in the future when it's a kid that gets something stolen or vandalized? Because it has happened in the past. A lot of white parents know that, so the kids will bring stuff and they'll set them out here on the pool deck. They won't even take them in there. Right. I'm just bringing that up because, yeah.
We've had a little bit better luck with the actual NWAC lockers, which you bring your own lock, and you shut the door and you make sure it's locked. And we have in the women's restroom, and they're bigger than the metal ones, which you can stick a screwdriver in, it will pop off if you work it hard enough. We have several of those available, which we would be more than happy to offer one of those to Joy, that she could bring her own lock and put on. They seem to have fewer incidents in those lockers, and the incidents that we have had with those lockers have been when the swimmer has forgotten to put their lock in,
Right.
to make sure that their lock is in, and lock it. And we have several of those available that are currently not being used by our swim team, and we would be more than happy to offer one of those to her at discretion if she'd like to bring her own lock in
Would that
and use that.
sound reasonable?
I would be delighted to have that option where I could bring my own lock and take responsibility for that. In addition to restitution for my belongings.
Yeah. Would you move for 273? I'll get 60.
So it'd be less than $60?
Yes.
Okay. So it'd be... So I would move to a restitution to Joy Thompson for $273, is my math correct there? $73.06, which is $333.06 less than $60. To take care of paying for personal belongings that were stolen due to a apparently defective or problematic, vandalized locker. I am concerned that, that's the motion, I'll put it out there.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You're not in favor?
I thought there was discussion.
Oh,
I thought we discussed.
yeah, no, I don't know if we have complete lists.
Okay, would you
Sorry.
discuss?
I certainly have sympathy for Ms. Thompson. But I do have a large red flag that goes up because of what Mr. Hoffler has stated. Does this open us up for further claims for people who have left items where they have been stolen through no act of district negligence? And this doesn't sound like this was an act of district negligence. This sounds like somebody purposely broke into that locker, destroyed the mechanism, and made off with Ms. Thompson's belongings.
I guess
Does that open us up for further claim?
I wondered about that, but there are a number of factors that we have to look at. We don't know if in the cleaning out of the lockers, which was sort of going on in the middle of the year, if this got caught in that process. So we don't know if it was the district. We don't know if it was vandalism. Okay. The second thing is that we do have a record of people that actually rented lockers, and Joy actually rented a locker, and the mechanism was gone and the things were stolen out, which keeps it as a very small subset, because it would have to be a person on the record of renting the locker during that time and having that locker either vandalized or emptied when they weren't there. So, in trying to see how many people that would be, I don't think it would certainly open up a similar case for a person that left something in the locker room and it was stolen, type of thinking. They would have to be on the record as having rented that locker legitimately. So I think it's a small subset.
I have to ask the question then, along with this, what if somebody makes a claim? How do we ever, and please don't take this disrespectfully, but what if it's somebody who makes a claim but they're not genuine about it? They say, hey, I had a $600 iPad in there that was stolen.
These were all, the list here is all swimming things.
Okay, so I had a $250 competition suit in there that was stolen, and how do we ever get to that point to where we know a person? Ms. Thompson, and I'm not doubting her, but what if it is someone who's not genuine? How do we ever discern that?
Do we have some kind of notice that's posted, which gives us...
Notice in the bathroom that does say the district is not responsible for lost or stolen items. I can pull it off the wall and show you.
Is that notice also included in the rental agreement for the locker?
I'm not sure. I could go look with it. Aaron, it is not.
It is not. Then, based on that, I support the motion to reimburse. Absolutely.
Okay,
So
so
make that disclaimer on the rental agreement.
are we ready for the question then?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm ready for the question.
Okay. Well, do you want us all to vote at once, or do you want to give your vote with your name so that you can follow the practice?
Don't make a mockery of this. I vote aye.
Aye.
Dave's aye, Kirk's aye, I'm chair. I'm aye too, good.
So that's unanimous.
So
So
it's
it's
unanimous.
reimbursement. So we'll pass that along to Nicole.
I said that I think we do need to fix that.
State auditor's report, I've never seen it. Has anyone seen it?
What, are we talking about the state audit report from the fraud department? Is that what we're talking about? Because that's something we need to decide too.
Maybe we should table it until next month when we all are got our homework, or is there something we have to respond to?
Well,
Have we seen the report?
I haven't seen it.
but I have to bring up one thing. I mean, because I don't know if this has to do with, I think this, we can talk about it next month, but the one thing that we probably do need to start talking about is the $639.49 from the former aquatic coach that he was expected to pay back by the state auditor. We had all agreed that definitely needed to be paid. And as far as I know, and I talked to the staff, I don't think that that's been paid back at this point. And then on with that is the related investigation costs of $7,818.67 from the former employees and/or insurance bonding company. And we were supposed to, basically, if we're not going to go after that money, we were supposed to get back with the state audit, weren't we? And let them know why we weren't.
There are two this is not the report dealing with fraud.
Okay.
This is the report that was completed in the last couple of days. I don't know, they're having a closing out meeting in
January 27th.
That's right. So next month, we'll deal with the state auditor's report. Okay, because I haven't seen it.
Okay.
So I don't know how we can discuss it if we haven't seen it. If you have.
So how do I put this on the agenda for next month to discuss this? Because we really need to make a decision on this. We really do. How we're going to proceed.
What's the name of it on the top?
This is the fraud, this is the state fraud department.
Oh, the state auditor's.
Yeah, and it was, we also recommend the district seek recovery of the $639.49 from the former aquatic coach. Related investigation cost of $7,867.
Put it on the agenda for February. Bring coffee and tea if you're coming to the meeting on February. It sounds like it's going to be a long meeting.
No, no,
We'll
that's,
just put it on the agenda.
Make a decision.
yeah.
On the agenda. Okay.
No, we have, to the best of my knowledge, I did not receive a copy of the auditor's report, other than to be notified that there's an interview scheduled for 1 p.m. on January 27th, of which I personally plan on attending.
I plan on attending too, so if there's one more that's going to plan on attending, then we're going to have to make it a public meeting.
We need to do that, I believe, just to be safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, then.
I think you can schedule it.
Yeah, I just had a note there to organize it as a public meeting. Okay, that's the agenda. Any public comments? Any final comments from the commissioners? Would somebody adjourn us?
Go see us.
Motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Well, I didn't get a chance to make my comment.
You wanted to comment?
Fast.
You've got to speed up.
I just wanted to say, we are in a time of change. I do want to personally thank the staff for their willingness to work with us and to take on the additional responsibilities. Keep this pool operating. This pool is the heart of the North Liberty Park and Recreation District. Our other facilities are fantastic, and they create good opportunity for the citizens, like the dog park, the baseball field, whatever little property we seem to have over on Highland Drive that nobody seems to know about. But without this pool operating, there's no sense for any of us to come. There would be no North Liberty Park and Recreation District. They just don't bring enough revenue to pay for themselves. And I would like to give a special thanks to Ms. Kate for the hard work that she's put in, countless hours on our behalf. Thank you very much. Thank you, staff.
Thank you. Yes, really.
Thanks to the Pate family. Billy putting up with the extra stress we've added. And yeah, I think that's a great point by Dave. And the staff, hats off to the staff for stepping up. You guys, I mean, really. Bill did a lot of work. I'm sure you're seeing. There's a hole there. And we need to, we just want to get a person in here that's going to take good care of you and take good care of the district. So, and that's the...
Shall we take a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So 8:18, we're adjourned.